Hello and welcome to the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we're going to talk you through how and why you would want to put your investment property into an LLC. Hello everyone, welcome to the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel. I'm Suzanne Moore.
And I'm Sarah Willis. We are Central Oregon's investment and real estate experts.
As I said, I'm Suzanne Moore. I'm a realtor here in beautiful sunny Bend, Oregon with Realty One Group Discovery and the founder of the Central Oregon Investor Network, which brings together investors not only from Central Oregon, but from all over the country to create passive income from real estate investments, share resources, and learn from one another.
And I'm Sarah Willis. Suzanne Moore and I are a team here at Realty One Group Discovery. We're also licensed real estate agents here in the state of Oregon. So we make these videos for you every single week on Bend lifestyle topics, so you know what it's like to live like a local before you come visit here or before you consider moving here. Also, we make these videos on real estate topics and investor-specific topics for new and seasoned investors alike. You will see up here on your screen a QR code, which we hope you will hold your phone up to right now, screenshot or snap with your phone. This is the best way to get in touch with us, along with our contact information that you see up on the screen. We put out weekly emails with Ben's best deals in lots of different categories. So if you're shopping in the area, this is something you don't want to miss. Also, we send out monthly emails on the state of Bend market and with a few other little tips and fun informational facts in there on the Bend, Oregon area. So without further ado, before this video is over, we invite you to like and subscribe.
One of the most frequent questions we get from our clients who have bought real estate investment properties is, should I put my property into an LLC? And if so, how do I do it? So that is what this video is about today, to walk you through the reasons why you might want to, and also some reasons why you might not. And then if you decide this is the route you want to go, how to do it.
So there are 4 easy reasons to consider on why you might want to put your property into an LLC. And number 1 is for the reason of asset protection. LLCs are like an umbrella. They're like a bubble. They shield you and your personal assets from potential legal repercussions. So if someone comes after you or sues you from slipping and falling when they're in your rental property, they're not going after you individually for your assets. They will be suing the company itself, and this will protect you personally and all of the things that you worked so hard to acquire for yourself. Number 2 is limited liability. So personal liability is limited to the investment of the property, right? And that's why it's called an LLC. It doesn't encompass your entire self and everything that is under your name. So your personal assets here are separated from those that are your assets that are just under your LLC. And then number 3, tax flexibility. Having your business or rentals in an LLC creates a pass-through entity and separates you and your business for tax reasons. There's potential tax benefits to having your business in an LLC as well, which we can probably get into a little bit more in detail later. And then ease of management simplifies the process of property management for segregating finances. So all of your expenses and income are not under your name. They're under the name of the LLC. And there's a lot more write-offs to be had when you are doing things under an LLC with property management.
So reasons why you might not want to put your property into an LLC. If you go on to any investor forums or blogs, you'll see a consistent dialogue about this topic, LLC or liability insurance. Sometimes it is an either or for investors, and it really is up to you and your risk tolerance. Some investors say you don't need an LLC, just get an umbrella policy, a liability policy, or a landlord policy. They're all kind of using different words for the same thing that covers you for an amount that you might get sued for. So maybe a $1 million or a $3 million or a $5 million policy, and that's going to cost you maybe a couple $100 a year, depending on where your property is located. So some people say just get that umbrella policy. That's more than enough. You don't need anything else. Some people are not willing to take on that risk. So other people end up doing an LLC and getting an umbrella policy. And that is one great option if you're very risk averse. Another option that we will do a totally separate video on is putting your property into a trust. There are some tax advantages and disadvantages to doing this, and some costs associated with putting your property into a trust, but it is another way to protect that property and your other assets from liability. So overall, the other reason you may not want to put your property into an LLC is because it's can be time consuming and you have to pay every single year. So you have to renew that company with the state where you live every year and pay a filing fee. So it can be a lot to track. If you're going to do each property in a separate LLC, that's all the LLCs you got to track and all the filing fees every year. So some people just think it's too much of a hassle. But if you're weighing the pros and cons of getting sued or dealing with a little bit of hassle every year, it's really up to your risk tolerance.
Next, we'll get into the nuts and bolts and how to actually physically put your property into an LLC. It really is pretty simple. A lot of people feel overwhelmed by this action step in general, but it can really be done in about 15 minutes. So first, I mean, maybe the hardest part about this whole thing, honestly, is just choosing the name for your LLC. You need to pick a name, a unique name that is not already being used. And no matter what state you're coming from, you'll be able to go in and do a business name search to see if the name that you choose is already being used or not. So number one, choose an appropriate name for your business and select something that's unique and that represents whatever is you in that situation. And then, as we already said, check the business registration to make sure it's available. Number two, on the Secretary of State website, you go on, you plug in that name, you check to register your LLC, you file the necessary paperwork, you fill out, you answer a few really easy to answer questions, and you pay, here in Oregon, you pay $100 a year. Part of this process is submitting articles of organization and, like we said, paying those filing fees. So it really is a multiple step process, but it's, once you've got the LLC, then you can also, move on to get an EIN for filing more tax paperwork down the line. But filing the LLC is really super simple and pretty inexpensive.
And if you are buying or selling a property with us, this is something we happily do for our clients on a meeting like this, a Zoom or a Google Meet call. Walk you through the whole thing. We've done that before. So I'm just going to go through a couple of additional points that you'll be asked when you are registering your LLC. And these are the things that trip people up because it's not language we use every day. So one thing you have to do when you're registering your LLC, even before you can pay your $100, they're going to ask you to designate a registered agent. So what is a registered agent? Well, it's someone who can receive mail at a physical address in case you do get sued. So someone has to serve you, and that has to be a physical address. It doesn't have to be your physical address, but it has to be a street address. So you can hire and pay somebody to be a registered agent for you. It's a quick Google search for your location and registered agent. You don't pay a ton of money, but you might pay them another $50 or $100 a year to be your registered agent. It can be you and your own physical address if you're comfortable having that address in the public record. So that is the one reason that some people sometimes use registered agents, is because they don't want their own home address being listed in public records that are searchable. So you have to designate a registered agent. It can be you, it can be someone you pay. Next, you have to create an operating agreement. And this is really important for managing your LLC. And this is something that defines the roles and responsibilities of the members and managers. And that sounds like so big because it's like, I just own one property and it's just me. Like, why do I have to have all these roles? Well, LLCs are for companies of all sizes. So you can be the manager of your LLC, you can be the owner of your LLC, and you can be the registered agent of your LLC. You can hold all three roles and fill out the paperwork like that. In your operating agreement, it will explain who does what. It will also discuss if there are multiple members of the LLC, the percentages of ownership that each person has, and when you go to open your bank account, they are going to ask you for this operating agreement.
An operating agreement is something that's as easy as going online, Googling an LLC operating agreement, and there are plenty of templates out there, plenty of websites that will let you create a free login, for 1 month that are, lawyer served templates that you can just fill in the blanks for the questions and it auto populates an operating agreement for you. You download it, you cancel your membership, and you're good to go. I mean, this is how I've done it every single time I've done it, and it's served me well so far. But as Suzanne said, this is something that the bank is going to want when you open up a bank account. And in the event you purchase a property under the name of an LLC, which is kind of a whole nother conversation, this is something also title and escrow is going to need to have in hand as well for you to purchase property.
So now that you have your LLC registered, you need to transfer the property into the LLC. Most people end up buying the investment property in their own personal name for financing purposes. Generally, a bank is only going to finance a person or an LLC that already has records of making money. So most of the time, it's just us as individuals. And then we transfer the property into the LLC. So you do this by using a deed to transfer the property from your personal name into the LLC. There's two ways you can do this. Number one, you can hire an attorney to do this for you. Number two, you can use a local escrow agent to do this for you, perhaps for a much lower cost. Just the cost of doing the forms and recording it with the local recorder's office. So if you have questions on that, we are here to help you. Then you have to update all your records and accounts. You have to open that bank account in the LLC. You have to make sure all the rents are going into that business account. You have to make sure that the title is updated and everything is legit, and that you're keeping all of your expenses separate, all of your personal expenses separate from the business. So one of the big things that some people say against having an LLC is called piercing the corporate veil. And this is what gets people in trouble who do start LLCs, but they mingle their business money and their personal money. And if you were ever to get sued, even though you have an LLC, if you are mingling funds from personal to business, that judge is likely going to say you pierce the corporate veil, your LLC no longer stands, and all of your personal assets can be included in the lawsuit. So that's the short, skinny on how that all works, what piercing the veil is. You really want to make sure that you are in compliance, you are keeping things separate, you're keeping good records and documentation to keep your LLC running as a business.
So putting your property into an LLC kind of may seem like this abstract, difficult to achieve idea, but it really is accomplished in a few short and simple steps. There are a few nuances along the way, especially when it comes to trying to purchase a property in an LLC, and or if you do want to transfer a property from your personal name to an LLC, that, getting in touch with people like us and your preferred lenders can really help guide you with. But all in all, it's pretty simple. I think Susan and I might agree that, we think the pros outweigh the cons, but it's definitely up to you to take into account what may or may not work for you and your aversion to risk. So consult legal and financial professionals for sure to make sure that all this aligns with your approach. We're here to just kind of share our personal experience and give you the bullet points.
Thank you all for watching today's video on how and why to put your investment property into an LLC. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Sarah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time here on the Suzanne and Sarah YouTube channel.